Stablecoin inflows rise before Fed rate decision. Crypto Daybook Americas. Your day ahead look for October 29, 2025. By Francisco Rodrigues. All times ET unless indicated otherwise. Bitcoin BTC $110, 870.70 is hovering around $113,000 after dropping 1.4% in 24 hours. While the broader crypto market, measured via the CoinDesk 20, CD20 index, fell 2%. The declines come amid a rotation into stablecoins ahead of the Federal Reserve's policy decision later today. A 25 basis point interest rate cut is a near certainty. The CME FedWatch tool shows a 99.9% chance of it happening, while traders on Polymarket put the odds at 98.1%. Traders are also on the lookout for signs the Fed is set to slow its balance sheet runoff, which would further ease financial conditions and be a potential boon for risk assets. Trading activity has thinned. Liquidity on centralized exchanges has dropped sharply, with order book depth sitting at just 40% of pre-liquidation levels, according to Foresight Ventures. As traders rotate into stablecoins, traders are rotating into USD stablecoins and concentrating liquidity in deep order books. OKX Singapore CEO Gracie Lin told CoinDesk. According to Wintermute, stablecoin supply is now rising again for the first time since September, which shows macro tailwinds are beginning to translate into fresh inflows. Similarly, perpetual futures funding rates are now positive again for most major tokens, while open interest for BTC and ETH is rebuilding at a measured pace. While October had a bit of a false start, macro tailwinds, cooling inflation, stabilizing geopolitical tension, and a dovish Fed are setting the stage for a supportive rest of the year, which historically, Q4, has been the strongest for Bitcoin, wrote Wintermute OTC desk strategist Jasper Demare. Positioning and macro tailwinds seem to suggest a breakout is looming, a position various analysts appear to be taking. Nevertheless, President Trump's meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping later this week could boost uncertainty. Stay alert. For a more comprehensive list of events this week, see CoinDesk's Crypto Week Ahead. For a more comprehensive list of events this week, see CoinDesk's Crypto Week Ahead. For a more comprehensive list of events this week, see CoinDesk's Crypto Week Ahead. By Oliver Knight. Crypto Treasury Companies. Spot BTC ETFs. Spot ETH ETFs. Source, Farsight Investors. Crypto October 29. Grayscale Solana Trust converts to a spot ETF listed on NYSE Arca under the ticker GSOL. Macro October 29, 9:45 a.m. Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Policy interest rate, previous, 2.5%. Press conference starts 45 minutes later. Watch live. October 29, 2 p.m. Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Fed funds rate target range estate 3.75% to 4%. Press conference starts 30 minutes later. Watch live. Earnings, estimates based on FactSet data, nothing scheduled. October 29th. Grayscale Solana Trust converts to a spot ETF listed on NYSE Arca under the ticker GSOL. October 29th, 9:45 a.m. Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Policy interest rate, previous, 2.5%. Press conference starts 45 minutes later. Watch live. October 29, 2 p.m. Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Fed funds rate target range estate 3.75% to 4%. Press conference starts 30 minutes later. Watch live. Nothing scheduled. Governance votes and calls. LISC DAO is voting on a 4M LSK proposal to start a LISC DAO fund, replacing grants with investments in top LISC startups. Voting ends October 29. ZKSYNC DAO is voting on allocating 33 million Zambian kwacha, $1.65 m, to the ZKSYNC Association to maintain and enhance governance infrastructure through 2026. Voting ends October 29. ENS DAO is voting to fund ENS contract naming season, a 6-month program led by Inscribe with 75K USDC and 10K ENS to promote smart contract naming, boost ENS adoption and improve Ethereum UX. Voting ends October 29. Unlocks no major unlocks. Token launches October 29. Injective's new INJ community burn starts. Lisk DAO is voting on a 4M LSK proposal to start a Lisk DAO fund, replacing grants with investments in top Lisk startups. Voting ends October 29. ZKSYNC DAO is voting on allocating 33 million Zambian kwacha, $1.65 M, to the ZKSYNC Association to maintain and enhance governance infrastructure through 2026. Voting ends October 29. ENS DAO is voting to fund ENS contract naming season, a 6-month program led by Inscribe with 75K USDC and 10K ENS to promote smart contract naming, boost ENS adoption and improve Ethereum UX. Voting ends October 29. No major unlocks. October 29. Injective's new INJ community burn starts. Day 4 of 4. Money 2020 USA, Las Vegas, Nevada. Day 2 of 2. Blockchain Life 2025, Dubai. Day 1 of 2. Future of Money, Governance, and the Law 2025, Washington. The altcoin market began to show signs of strength on Wednesday, with traders rotating into higher beta tokens ahead of potential policy headlines. The Trump token, touted by President Donald Trump in January, led the move, rallying as optimism grew that the US and China are closing in on a trade agreement. Euro $1.0635 also rose, buoyed by steady activity across base-based DeFi protocols. The token added 7.2% as it notched its highest level since the start of the month. The market still showed a preference for Bitcoin, with CoinMarketCap's altcoin season indicator remaining at 26 out of 100. The altcoin gains were confined to memecoins and DeFi tokens, while larger tokens traded in tight ranges, ENA $0.4286 and Hedera, HBAR, both gave back much of their gains on Wednesday, with the former down by 6.9% in 24 hours, while Hedera dropped by 4.5% despite a spot bar ETF going live on the NYSE. On Tuesday, the BTC futures market is holding steady, with open interest OI at $26.8 billion. Funding rates, however, are highly divergent. Deribit shows an aggressive spike to 24.64% annualized, signaling strong demand for long positions, while OKX dipped to -3%, where shorts are being paid. This mix of sustained high OI and polarized funding rates indicates elevated near-term market volatility and uncertainty, disrupting the previously uniform bullish sentiment in the options market. Bitcoin is showing a strong surge in bullish conviction. The implied volatility for term structure is displaying a slight near-term backwardation, downward slope, before normalizing into long-term contango, upward slope. Short-term bullish sentiment has increased significantly, with the 250 delta skew at 10% for the 1-week expiry, meaning traders are paying a substantial premium for call options. This is further validated by the 24-hour put-call volume. WIC is strongly in favor of calls, 60%. CoinGlass data shows $514 million in 24-hour liquidations, with a 69-31 split between longs and shorts. ETH, $155 million, BTC, $114 million, and SOL, $57 million, were the leaders in terms of notional liquidations. The Binance liquidation heat map indicates $114,350 as a core liquidation level to monitor, in case of a price rise. BTC is up 0.23% from 4 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday at $113,094.99, 24 hours. Minus 1.34%. ETH is up 0.53% at $4,003, 24 hours. Minus 2.87%. CoinDesk 20 is up 0.72% at $3,755.92, 24 hours. Minus 2.03%. Ether CSR composite staking rate is down 4 bps at 2.85%. BTC funding rate is at 0.0036%, 3.9431% annualized, on Binance. DXY is up 0.21% at 98.88. Gold futures are up 1.35% at $4. 0.3670. Silver futures are up 2.21% at $48.37. Nikkei 225 closed up 2.17% at 51. 307.65 Hang Seng closed down 0.33% at 26. 346.14 FTSE is up 0.47% at 9,742.64 Euro. Stocks 50 is up 0.27% at 5. 719.98 DJIA closed on Tuesday up 0.34% at 47. 706.37 S&P 500 closed up 0.23% at 6. 890.89 Nasdaq Composite closed up 0.8% at 23. 827.49 S&P/TSX Composite closed up 0.48% at 30. 419.68 S&P 40 Latin America closed up 0.86% at 2. 979.82 U.S. 10-year Treasury rate is up 0.8 bps at 3.991%. E-mini S&P 500 futures are up 0.12% at 6. 934.00 E-mini Nasdaq 100 futures are up 0.26% at 26. 232.75 E. Mini Dow Jones Industrial Average Index are down 0.27% at 47,768.00. BTC Dominance 59.84%, minus 0.24%. Ether Bitcoin Ratio 0.03537, 0.31%. Hash rate 7-day moving average 1,137 EH/s hash price. Spot $48.69 total fees. 2.94 BTC/$335. 834 CME Futures Open Interest. 143,590 BTC priced in gold. 26.9 ounce BTC versus gold market cap. 7.58%. The total altcoin market cap, excluding the top 10 cryptocurrencies, to Bitcoin ratio is resting on a critical long-term weekly support. The lack of a clear revival signal makes this a highly precarious position because a breakdown below this level would imply significant further downside and market pain for the broader altcoin sector. With the next resistance 36% away and the next support minus 27% below, the current risk-reward is unfavorable for broad altcoin exposure versus Bitcoin. Coinbase Global Coin closed on Tuesday at $355.22, minus 1.72%, plus 0.28% at $356.20 in pre-market Circle Internet. CRCL closed at $136.11, minus 5.01%, unchanged in pre-market. Galaxy Digital GLXY closed at $37.29, minus 8.04%, plus 0.4% at $37.44 bullish. BLSH closed at $54.01, minus 4.08%, plus 0.54% at $54.30. Mara Holdings. Mara closed at $18.88, minus 3.48%, plus 0.58% at $18.99. Riot Platforms. Riot closed at $21.56, minus 6.28%, plus 1.37% at $21.85. Core Scientific. CORZ closed at $20.09, plus 1.11%, plus 1.54% at $20.40. CleanSpark. CLSK closed at $19.15, minus 5.2%, plus 1.51% at $19.44. CoinShares Valkyrie Bitcoin Miners ETF. WGMI closed at $59.48, minus 2.24%, plus 0.79% at $59.95. Exodus Movement. EXOD closed at $25.01, minus 3.88%. Strategy MSTR closed at $284.64, minus 3.72%, plus 0.31% at $285.51. Semler Scientific. SMLR closed at $27.22, minus 13.42%, plus 2.87% at $28. SharpLink Gaming. SBET closed at $13.74, minus 3.98%, minus 1.38% at $13.55 UPXI. UPXI closed at $4.63, minus 6.28%, plus 1.73% at $4.71 Light Strategy. LITS closed at $1.93, minus 7.66%, plus 1.04% at $1.95. Daily net flows, $202.40 million cumulative net flows. $62.30 billion total BTC holdings, 1.36 million. Daily net flows, $246 million cumulative net flows. $14.75 billion total ETH holdings, 6.75 million. Bitcoin holds $113,000 as liquidity thins. Traders turn defensive before Fed week. CoinDesk with a quarter-point U.S. interest rate cut expected today. A firm dollar and thinning exchange depth have traders positioned for sharp swings around Fed Chair Powell's remarks. DBS? Goldman Sachs execute first over-the-counter interbank crypto options trade. CoinDesk using cash-settled Bitcoin and Ether options allowed the banks to hedge crypto-linked exposures, signaling the emergence of a bank-to-bank market as institutional demand rises and derivatives volumes surge across Asia. World Liberty Financial to airdrop 8.4 MWLFI tokens to early $1 users. CoinDesk 6 exchanges will set eligibility for the WLFI distribution following a 2-month $1 points program that drove over $500 million in trades, making $1 the sixth largest stablecoin by market cap. After demolishing the U.S.-China relationship, Trump is rebuilding it his way. The Wall Street Journal a proposed truce would swap soybean buys for tariff relief and set a year of leader talks. Pausing escalation while leaving subsidies, intellectual property and technology disputes unresolved. ECB targets 2029 launch for digital euro. Prep work to continue. Bloomberg officials will keep developing wallets and merchant and bank integration with a mid-2029 launch contingent on EU lawmakers approving the digital euro rulebook, now targeted for agreement in 2026.